Hello. So, for my company that I chose, I decided to go with Disney. But more specifically, I wanted to go with Disney World. So I'm just going to dive right in. Identity, image, and reputation. So, corporate identity. Corporate identity is the idea of using color schemes, designs, certain diction, and an effective layout in order to create a visual statement that communicates a business philosophy. So, with Disney, they usually use a lot of color schemes, a lot of really colorful pieces, whether it be in the design of Disney World, like the layout of it. It's really open. It wants it. They created it in an image that is appealing to a younger target audience. So it's going to be colorful. It's going to be expansive. It's going to be exciting. Currently, the company slogans are "Where dreams come true" and "The happiest place on earth." So they want to create that idea, or that image that they are the happiest place on earth, and any kid would want to be here, any adult would want to be here, and it's just a place to come for a good time. Um, so as far as the image goes, they want when you think of Disney World, they want you to think of Cinderella's castle, the Epcot ball, a gigantic sorcerer hat found in the Hollywood studios, and the massive tree of life at the Animal Kingdom. Along with those, Walt Disney World has created this image by following in the imagination steps, like to try and create a wonderland for children and to try and create the most positive image that they can. They also have a positive image in their classic attractions, but they try to keep them as up to date as possible. That way, it looks new and fresh every time you come to the park, no matter how long that it's been there. A cool thing about their reputation, as far as the Walt Disney Company in general, is it is ranked number three on the annual survey for its reputation. It's well known. It's a household name. When you talk Disney, most people know what it is, especially their resorts and parks as well. Um, Corporate advertising and advocacy. So as far as corporate advertising goes, I think one of the more famous ways that we remember Disney World for advertising is anytime there's a huge championship game. Usually, like the star quarterback or the star player will yell, "I'm going to Disney World," and it's kind of um, that main selling point that they use in their TV commercials. So, and again, television commercials is probably the biggest way of advertising or a way that they reach out to their consumers. So, the definition that the book gives of corporate advertising is a paid use of media that seeks to benefit the image of the corporation as a whole rather than its products or services. So, this is paid advertisement. These are corporate sponsors, like the athletes who say these things would be sponsored by the company or be getting paid to say these things. But all these things are ways that they appeal to an audience or get people thinking, "Oh wow, it might be a good idea to go to Disney World." Along with those, they also have advocacy programs. One major advocacy program that Disney overall as a company is doing is they want to get away from those unhealthy, those fatty foods that are usually advertised to children. In fact, in their television networks, they actually have almost completely gotten rid of all junk food ads altogether. And in their parks, they're trying to implement healthier snacks um, for their customers. Corporate responsibility. So Walt Disney has a number of charities that they donate to. Some of the standout ones include the Make a Wish Foundation, Toys for Tots, Starlight, Starbright, and Boys and Girls Club of America. On their company website, they have also talked about the importance of community engagement. They really think that giving back to the community is needed, and it's a part that they are really proud of. A lot of their employees are volunteers. Um, so it says that Disney volunteer hours are performed by our cast and members to the local economies, and we support. And they also support the local economies through job creation, tax revenue, and the use of local suppliers and contractors. So relationships with the media. So, from what I've researched, Disney World takes the necessary steps to stay on the positive side of media and press release. Usually, you don't hear too many bad things in the media about Disney doing something that they shouldn't be doing or having a hand in this huge scandal. And even on times where something does go wrong in the park, Disney is usually really quick to nip it in the bud, or they'll issue an apology and they will move in the direction of getting it corrected and fixed. And I think that's because of how quick they react to negative media or negative things that happen, and how their response is really important to how the company has been sustainable or been successful for so long, because they've been able to retain this this loyal customer basis because of all the great service. And I think a lot of that is done through the media, because the people that cover Disney only have good things to advertise. There's not too many negative things that you really can broadcast about that Disney has done, which is something that is commendable. Um, Ties to legislators. So Disney World in Orlando, Florida, is an interesting case. They actually bought all of their land from the state of Florida for this huge production that is Disney World. It's a massive park, and for the most part, Florida legislator has also granted Disney World extreme unilateral control over the land, and they can almost do whatever they want with that land. It's almost as if they have formed their own government in that small area. Nationally, something that I also think was very interesting was Disney World by itself doesn't have a stock on its own, but the Disney company stock is $105 a share. So they are a nationally traded company and have been a nationally traded company for a long time. So kind of their connection. Social media presence. So Disney has your traditional social media presence. They have your Facebook, your Twitter, and your YouTube, and they usually keep those up to date. They usually respond to consumer complaints or consumer issues rather quickly. Again, like their customer service is on it. But something that I think is really unique is that Disney has their own blog that is very specific to their park. So that blog will have updates on what's going on in the news. That blog will have updates on like new promotion, new events. If they're bringing in a new resort or new area, they're gonna talk about it through this blog, and it's really interesting. They also have the Disney World Resort Moms Panel, and on here you can submit questions. So if you have any issues, concerns, or questions about the parks, you're able to submit it to this panel. And your questions are answered relatively quickly. So I think that is something that is also really cool, and it has brought in probably a lot of customers because of this. So, in conclusion, Disney World is a fantastic company that takes great steps to appeal to their target audience. They really take all the steps that they can to create this whole idea of it is the greatest place on earth. And I think that there's a reason that this company has been around for as long as it has. And I think that it's not going away anytime soon. And I think their customer service, or not their customer service, their community service initiatives, as far as giving back, volunteering, putting money in organizations like the like shoot, let me go back to it. Organizations like Make a Wish Foundation is really huge and really important to this company, and it's what's kept probably their audience coming back to them every time. And I think it's really good that they do this. So here's my conclusion, and here are the references that I used in which I pulled the other information from. Thank you.